This is just a typical Australian street. At first glance, it seems safe, normal. But look again. What can't you see? That's right, hidden around me are thousands of refugees. I can't give you an exact figure because I can't actually see them. But that just begs the question, what have they got to hide? Descended from a long line of boats, refugees say they came here to start a new life and to integrate. But can we trust them? Just look at the state they left the last country they lived in. Honestly, it looks like a bomb hit it. And now they're here, ready to make Australia crumble as well. It's only a matter of time before the humble meat pie is replaced by a caliphate. Would you like that with tomato or Burqa sauce? Thanks to a program called the Status Resolution Support Service, or SRSS, these opulent freeloading refugees are given a whopping $247 a week to splurge on frivolous luxuries such as food, rent and basic transport, wasting taxpayers' money looking for a job when they should already have a job. To expose more of this network of freeloaders, I spoke to Gianna Favero, Director of the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre, aka Bludger HQ. As Director of the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre, do you get RSI from giving so many handouts?
Well, we actually don't really give handouts at the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre. What we are delivering are just services for people to be able to survive because of gaps in government policy.
So what's one thing that SRSS funding allows for?
It allows people to have a safety net while they're studying full-time, to be able to learn English and get skills to get a job.
I don't have any qualifications and I managed to get this job.
So what we're just asking for people seeking asylum is to have exactly the same as everyone else who's born or living in Australia.
Yes, but do you think Zuckerberg ever pissed away his time on English lessons? No. He got out there and he was entrepreneurial.
Well, one thing that Zuckerberg does have in common with many refugees and people seeking asylum is being extremely entrepreneurial. And what we have found...
Entrepreneurial.
In fact, recent studies found that they are contributing $7 billion in terms of tax over their lifetime in Australia.
How else are refugees living at large with my money?
Well, it's quite difficult to live at large when you're getting just over $200 a week, and that has to pay everything. That's all utilities, all rent, if you happen to need torture and trauma counselling.
But what about my feelings? What about the trauma to the Australian taxpayer? These refugees are torturing my hard-earned money. Having heard enough about these leeches sucking on Australia's tax teat, I went out to meet one of these nipple-sucking parasites. So, Dr. Almadiris.
Call me Munjid, please.
So you're not a doctor?
I am a doctor.
So what made you decide to leave Iraq?
One day I went to work as usual as a resident in Baghdad University Hospital. All of a sudden I was confronted with 3 busloads of army deserters that were escorted by Republican guards and Baath Party members, and they ordered us to start mutilating these army deserters by cutting their ears off. The head of the department refused, and they escorted him out and they put a bullet in his head, and that's why I decided to run away, basically.
I mean, we've all had bad jobs. I once worked in a call centre where the women's toilets were on a whole other floor, but I just sucked it up. Was it hard to pass yourself off as a doctor when you're illiterate and can't speak English?
Well, define illiterate.
I don't have a dictionary.
When I managed to recognise my qualification, I worked in the profession that I'm trained to do.
Which is what?
I became an orthopaedic surgeon.
Sorry,
Orthopaedic surgeon.
Ortho...
It's called an orthopaedic surgeon, where you deal with joint disease, like, you know, you have joints.
Are you asking me to smoke drugs with you, doctor?
I don't know what your definition of a joint.
Yeah, see, not knowing the meaning of joint, I think your language skills need a bit of work. So you left Iraq to help Australian patients. Seems like someone is a fan of white privilege.
No, that's not true.
You're a surgeon fleeing a war-torn country. Mm-hmm. Would a firefighter abandon an inferno?
No, actually, I've been back to Iraq. I've been back to Iraq 4 times so far. That's to help Iraqi injured soldiers who were fighting ISIS.
Wow, what a great guy. With my argument fast disappearing, I realised I only had one trick up my sleeve. Okay. Let me just ask you this. Bludger says what?
What?
Got him. This bludger isn't fooling anyone. All of this sounds like pretty bleak news for the taxpayer, but there is one glimmer of hope. While filing this report, Tonightly Investigatesly discovered that the SRSS funding we discussed earlier was being cut. In your face, Jana. Finally, without a safety net, refugees will be forced to get jobs or die, one of the two. But at least the crisis has been solved, and I can get back to eating a pie that speaks fluent English. I'm Gary Jackson, reporting for Tonight Investigates.